New Hampshire in the fall is honestly one of the most beautiful places you'll ever visit. I'm talking about incredible foliage hikes and stunning mountains, to unforgettable drives and hidden gems that you've never heard of. In this video, I will take you through the best places to visit in New Hampshire in fall, plus share my top travel tips at the end so you can plan the perfect trip. We're going to kick things off with the Kancamagus Highway, which is one of the best fall foliage drives in the world. This is a roughly 34-mile long scenic byway that runs through the heart of the White Mountains, and there's no traffic lights, no tolls, and no commercial development, just pure, uninterrupted New Hampshire wilderness. We're breaking down the Kank into individual stops, going from east to west, so you can make the most of every single mile. First up along the Kancamagus Highway is the Albany Covered Bridge, which is a quick but worthwhile stop. This historic covered bridge dates back to 1858 and sits right along the Swift River. During this time of year, it is incredibly picturesque, so make sure you pull over and take a few minutes to walk across. Just down the road from Albany Covered Bridge is Lower Falls, which is a gorgeous cascade along the river, making for a stunning autumn scene. Parking can be tough here during peak foliage season, so keep that in mind. Next up is the Rocky Gorge Scenic Area, which is easily one of the busiest stops along the Kank. There's a short walk to get here, and when you arrive, you will see a beautiful waterfall through, well, a rocky gorge. You can walk on the rocks or cross over a bridge, which makes for a great photo opportunity. As you continue driving through the Kancamagus Highway, make sure to stop at some overlooks. I love the Hancock Overlook, which sits right at a bend in the road and offers some great views. Next up is Otter Rocks, which is one of my personal favorite stops along the Kank. This place doesn't get as much attention as others, but it's worth a visit as it's a quieter, more serene spot compared to some of the busier stops along the highway. In the fall, the surrounding foliage makes this place truly gorgeous. The final stop on the Kancamagus Highway is Lincoln Woods, which is a great way to end the drive. This popular trailhead has one of the largest parking areas along the entire highway, and it's the starting point for some incredible trails. Even if you don't want to hike, you should still visit and walk over this suspension bridge while taking in the fall foliage views. Now that we've talked about one of the most popular fall foliage drives in the USA, I'm going to show you one of my favorite hidden gems in New Hampshire. Next up on this list is the epic Table Rock hike, located in Dixieville Notch in the Great North Woods region of the state. This hike is underrated, rarely crowded because it's more remote and has a huge payoff at the end. If you plan to visit, I recommend taking Trail 50 to get up to the top, and although this trail is steep, there's another trail that has even more of an incline that I opted out of. Once you arrive, the views are spectacular as you stand along the narrow rocky outcrop with a 700-foot vertical drop and mountains covered in fall foliage stretching in every direction. Make sure to wear good shoes with traction and be cautious near the edge, but this place is totally unforgettable. Up next, I'm taking you to Mack's Apples, which is in southern New Hampshire and one of my favorite farm stands in the state. This orchard dates back to 1732, and today you can visit their farm stand in the fall for locally made goods and all the autumn staples. I highly recommend their cider donuts. I think these are some of my favorite in all of New England. Grab a pumpkin while you're here, and don't forget some of their frozen cider. It's totally delicious. If you're flying into Boston or Manchester, New Hampshire for your fall foliage trip, this is a great stop to build into your itinerary along the way. Now we're heading to the Franconia Notch part of the state, and this area alone could keep you busy for a few days. I have several stops to cover here, and the first I want to share is St. Matthew's Chapel, which is just outside the Franconia area. This is the perfect quintessential New England chapel, and I recommend stopping at this historic church for some photos as it's home to some pretty spectacular foliage. Get ready for one of my favorite things to do in New England, which is to hike Artist Bluff. Now, if you loved the idea of the Table Rock hike I mentioned earlier, but it was too far away or too long, this might be the hike for you. Artist Bluff is one of the most famous viewpoints in New Hampshire. You've probably seen a picture of it somewhere, and it's totally worth it. The hike to the viewpoint is only about half a mile round trip, but you'll be climbing over rocks and hiking directly up a steep incline, so make sure to wear proper shoes. Once you arrive at the top, you'll be greeted with sweeping panoramic views of fall foliage in every direction. Although this place is extremely busy and touristy, it's totally worth it to me and very easy to take pictures without any other people in them. At the base of Artist Bluff is Echo Lake, which I also suggest for a quick stop after the hike. This is a beautiful lake, it looks amazing in autumn, and you won't regret a visit. Rounding out our Franconia Notch stops is Flume Gorge, which is a natural granite gorge and one of the most impressive natural attractions in New England. Wooden boardwalks take you through the gorge past rushing water, moss-covered walls, and waterfalls throughout your hike. Along the way, you'll also cross 2 historic covered bridges, which are super photogenic. If you're enjoying this list, you may love my interactive New England map, where I have pinned over 500 of my favorite fall suggestions across the area with lots of recommendations for New Hampshire, and I'll drop it in the description below. About 30 minutes away from the Franconia area, you will find Crawford Notch State Park, which is another gorgeous drive in the White Mountains that's stunning in the fall. There's a variety of stops along the way where you can pull over and take in the views, and this is a very popular area for hiking in New Hampshire. If you're looking for where to stay, check out the iconic Omni Mount Washington Resort, which is a great historic hotel near Crawford Notch, and even if you don't want to stay there, you can still come for a visit and enjoy the view. One of my favorite hidden gems in New Hampshire that's off the beaten path is called Madam Sherri Woods, and it's worth the drive to go see it. There's a short hike and you'll arrive at Madam Sherri House, which is an incredible ruin in the middle of the woods. You can explore the area, and this truly is such a unique thing to do during fall in New Hampshire. If you're looking for one of the cutest small towns in New England, head to Sandwich, located in the foothills of the White Mountains. This place feels completely untouched by tourism, which makes it worth a stop. Just down the road, you'll come to the Wonalancet Union Chapel. This is one of the most photogenic historic chapels in New England, and it makes a great stop to take some pictures. Finally, stop at the Little White Church in Eaton while you're in the area. Okay, now it's time for my travel tips for visiting New Hampshire in fall. I recommend that you do not skip this section. It's filled with extremely important information that could make or break your visit. My first tip is to understand that weekends in fall are gonna be extremely crowded, especially if you're visiting during the 3-day October holiday weekend. I really can't stress enough just how crowded this area gets. I have literally sat in traffic for 1 hour to go less than 1 mile along the Kancamagus Highway. If you're planning your trip for this time, I recommend visiting some of the less touristy spots I've mentioned on this list and trying to drive the Kank either earlier in the morning or later in the evening. Next up is that timing is everything when it comes to fall foliage, and this is something that leaves a lot of people very disappointed. You do not want to plan a fall foliage trip to drive the Kancamagus Highway at the end of October. The leaves will be gone and everything will be brown. Instead, I recommend checking out fall foliage calendars online for New Hampshire so you can understand when each area peaks and the predictions for the year you plan to visit. Places in higher elevations, such as the Great North Woods and the White Mountains, peak earlier, usually the first 2 weeks of October, and the lower elevations will peak a bit later in the month. If you arrive on time and everything still doesn't look great, don't be afraid to drive. I have stayed in the Franconia area, which was experiencing muted and not very good foliage one year, and spent every day taking day trips to the surrounding areas like the Great North Woods. Third, it's important to note that there are no gas stations, restaurants, or stores along the Kancamagus Highway. This is a 34.5-mile long stretch of scenic byway with nothing in between, so fill up your gas tank and pack snacks before you start the drive. This brings me to my next tip, which is to download Google Maps offline or bring a paper map. Lots of areas in New Hampshire are quite rural, and people don't really consider this before they arrive. Phone service will be spotty at best and at many times non-existent, so what you're going to want to do is download Google Maps offline, which is super easy and convenient, or bring a paper map to ensure that you're always able to find your way back to phone service. Up next, book accommodations early and in advance, as fall is high season for New Hampshire and everything sells out quickly or is super expensive. Start looking for where you want to stay at least 3 to 6 months in advance of your trip. This is particularly important if you want to stay in popular areas such as near the Kancamagus Highway or Franconia Notch. If you have a particular part of the state in mind where you want to stay, book early, because if you wait, things will be at a much higher cost or non-existent. Finally, pack layers, as New Hampshire mountain weather in the fall can shift quickly, going from warm and sunny to cold and windy all in the same day. Packing layers allows you to stay flexible and be prepared for anything. New Hampshire in the fall is truly special, and I hope this video inspired you to add it to your travel bucket list. From the Kancamagus Highway to the notches, the orchards, the hidden towns, and everything in between, there is so much to love about this state in the fall season. If I missed anything, don't forget to leave a comment, and please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and I'll see you next time.